I'll be right back. I'm gonna go tinkle.
Okay, everybody ready? Hey, where's Quagmire?
Would you just sit down and go to the bathroom already?
I'm your political advisor. I'm giving you a political analysis here. This is a setup.
This can't be real.
I need to sit down.
This can't.
There is none living who does not perform yagya, which means sacrifice. This body is created for sacrifice and arises out of sacrifice and changes according to sacrifice.
You got covert threat assessment teams out in society who work strategically to place people into a quagmire. The goal is to have you stuck both in the literal, physical, figuratively, symbolic, and metaphorical place. Playing with people's lives becomes their own expression to a state of affairs, or an event that seems deliberately contrary to what one expects and is often amusing as a result. That is why I believe the universe responds to fate without a sense of irony, because people love drama, which can prove to be the result of witchcraft as to why society became such a cesspool to begin with. They take advantage of people's lack of support they have in their lives because isolation of the victim is the easiest way for them to quagmire. They seek to make things as difficult for you if it wasn't already. They seek to make it their mission that everyone in society receive a certain amount of stress, anger, and a sense of hopelessness. Do you experience a series of incompetence? Do it seem as if you have bad luck? You can be a target. Do every time you get a snack or grab something to eat, it's always ruined or done incorrectly? How about when you are walking, all you see is trash in your area or random shopping carts? How about cars strategically parked in a way as if it is purposeful to make things difficult for you and to irritate you? When you recognize you can't unsee it, it is like evil up the taxes on energy because everything is being done and crafted for maximum effect. How about when you want to be alone, it seems as if people want to be closer to you, like they looking for you. Cars parking close to you out of all places. You can't even sit in your car in peace because you will have other people sitting in their cars parallel with their headlights brightening you. Neighbors with bright lights always on and directed in your window. This is why when I hear about the spiritual and that our planet is a prison planet for these archons, I tend to believe it, because what race of beings try so hard to be a pest or bug? How about random holes that appear in the walls or be at hotel places you go to so that they can listen and maybe spray some harmful gas or chemical? How about you see a lot of dog walkers everywhere you go, almost like they're omnipresent because they will be dead locked on you as if they know where you are at and when you are coming. And if that's not enough, you get stuck in an elevator with a woman and her dog. You order an Uber to pick you up and you end up playing cat and mouse because they end up everywhere, but besides the designated location.
So there's this image circulating the internet of a UN spokesperson who appears to look like a demon on camera during a regular Lester Holt news segment. So let's check out the clip. I don't have audio for this clip, but you can clearly see on an NBC nightly news broadcast, they switch over to this shot of the UN and look at this just straight up demon looking character that we have sitting at the table for the United States. Now here we get a better look of everybody sitting together at the table. They're all obviously just regular people having a meeting. And then here's an artist rendition of what they believe actually happened during the strange video effect. Outlining the mask there and saying that that gaping mouth on this demon is one of her eyes. That's dubious at best. I don't really see that. It seriously seems like that circle is perfectly encapsulated in the middle of this creature's face. I don't think that's a good enough explanation, but I like that we're trying to figure this out. Now, this image has been on the internet for a couple weeks now at least, and there's still no official explanation for what could have caused the this person to look like this on camera, except for these like little artist renditions that I'm showing you right here. Now, I think this diagram is a little bit more accurate. It's displaying that the middle of her forehead is actually what created that little mouth-looking thing in this image, and that sort of makes sense to me. But it's still very odd that this was actually captured on camera like this. So Occam's razor suggests this is most likely just a camera malfunction of some kind, but that's not a very fun explanation. Let's leave that explanation to the lame normies over on Reddit. Let's go over some fun explanations for what this could actually be, because if you're listening to me, you're probably high IQ and super successful, because like attracts like. So let me read to you this one explanation I found on the internet that I find really cool. Entities tend to manifest through physical objects and forms already present in a specific place. For example, if you summon an entity for it to take form in your campfire smoke, the entity will take form through the smoke. Now, one could say, but it's not the entity, it's smoke. And such dualistic differentiation would be completely ignoring the very principles at play. Yes, it is the smoke, but that doesn't change the fact that it is the entity as well, and the shape of the smoke is a reflection of the entity shape. Its form adjusted through approximation to what's available in the physical plane. In this case scenario, smoke. In the other case scenario, well, the woman's body, head. In fact, entities can manifest and show their faces through even toast patterns or coffee, blah, blah, blah. The color, shape, symmetry of the entity in this image is most definitely an entity being, in fact, manifested in the woman, if not the woman's demonic nature itself, especially the perfectly placed, perfectly sized crown. Now let's pivot over to another demonic entity suspect, Albert Bourla, the CEO of Pfizer. Take a look at this news clip he's featured in and let me know if he seems human to you.
You can for a moment about the safety. What have you learned about serious side effects in this vaccine?
תראו את הצוואר שלו. זה נראה כמו צפרדע.
I don't know about you, but I've never seen anything like that in my life. The dude swallows like a frog. Next up on our list of creepy billionaires with demonic phenotypes is none other than Jeffrey Epstein. Take a look at his mouth in this 1992 video with him and Donald Trump. So yeah, not only are Jeffrey Epstein's teeth way too small to be that of a normal human's, but his victims reported that his penis was shaped like an egg, like it was nothing they've ever seen before. So very odd, I know, but those are two features apparently of Epstein that just don't match up to the rest of us. And this isn't even me making fun of someone's physical appearance. I'm simply pointing out things that should be anatomically impossible. If I wanted to make fun of someone's physical appearance, I'd show this picture of David Rockefeller. Yeah. Or this picture of John D. Rockefeller. Yeah. Alright, next up we have this iconic clip of Chuck Schumer seeming to communicate with some invisible entity on the Senate floor. Take a look. Alright, here we have Chuck Schumer making this woman noticeably uncomfortable by her body language. He then walks off to a chair and he just waves at an invisible man to get out of his way. The woman behind him, her reaction is priceless. And that's just kind of weird. Now I'm just kind of having fun with this video because obviously it's kind of a goofy subject. But at the end of the day, there's something to be said about there being a veil between the material world and the spirit world. And this is something that every single human civilization has understood except for ours. And our civilization is no more advanced than theirs spiritually, especially when we can look at the news and see that we're probably about to engage in World War III. And just to go back to what I was discussing earlier about how this veil can be manifested in physical objects like smoke or scrying mirrors. Here's something I found on the British Museum's website talking about John Dee. John Dee, of course, being the most famous occultist who's ever lived, and he was the right-hand advisor for Queen Elizabeth. And the British Museum has one of his black scrying mirrors. This is a mirror he would use along with Edward Kelly, apparently to communicate with entities from other realms. I'm going to read this description of the scrying mirror off of the museum's website. It says that this mirror is made of obsidian, volcanic glass, which was brought from Mexico to Europe between 1527 and 1530 after Hernando Cortez's conquest of the region. Mirrors were used by Aztec priests to conjure visions and make prophecies. They were connected with Tezcualtepoca, I butchered that, god of obsidian and sorcery, whose name can be translated from the Nahuatl language as smoking mirror. So what do we see again? The ancient Aztecs would also use smoke and mirrors in order to communicate with other entities behind the veil. Like, this is a concept as old as time. So maybe in that image of the UN representative, we're just seeing something that's been around forever. Just the physical manifestation of the thinning of the veil. Everyone's saying, oh, we're living in the time of unveiling. It's like, oh, what do you think that looks like? Maybe this is it. And side note, how cool is it that 16th century Victorian occultists were using scrying mirrors that they took from ancient Aztec priests? Like, that's pretty crazy too. So anyways, that leaves us with a few things to think about. I'll see you guys next time.